Hey, shalom, shalom. It's your brother Rataza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Now, I just seen this quick clip. Brother put up the video. some thieves, some intruders doing sinful works, man, out there trying to rob a bank. And they got this machine out here basically to try and take the what you can see in the video, they're taking the actual cash machine, using the construction site work building truck, and now they're hauling it off on another white truck, as you can see in their video. And everything's on camera, man. You can try and do all these, try and do thieveries and all of this stuff in these last days, but Esau's got cameras all over the damn place, so you're never gonna really get away with it. And this is just adding to the order of chaos scenario, pressure from above and pressure from below, to make Jakes and the other nations, citizens, go crazy in these last days, man. And basically, desperate measures calls for desperate times, calls for desperate measures. So they're gonna be out here doing the most in these last days, especially when Esau is about to cut off people's welfare checks in regards to the EBT SNAP credits and the welfare system in general through this government shutdown over there in the Americas that's what's supposed to start from November the 1st. And literally situations like this are going to happen overnight. Going to be looting, shooting and polluting. And it's going to spin around the four winds as well. Economic crashes and stuff, so on and so forth. More cyber attacks on the economy, causing for more upheaval and sedition amongst men, sedition against the government, man. So these niggas, these individuals, whoever they are, decided to go to a supermarket, and steal the whole cash machine, man. Gangs use telehandler to rip cash machine from shop. And this is happening over here in the UK. God only knows what's going to be happening over there in the Americas, man. Babylon the Great's really going to become, the land of the savage, man. It's gonna go back to that Wild Wild West type scenario back in them days, man. And survival of the fittest, shoot or be shot. And Trump has already declared that, through these militarizing the police, he's got his National Guard there, the Gestapo, his private state police. Yeah, he's gonna reinforce, for these type of situations, that's gonna be released within 24 hours. He says, in any situations of sedition or uprisings or uproars of the people, so-called protesting or whatever it is, because he deems the people over there in America domestic T's now. If you're an American citizen, whether foreign or domestic, you're basically a T, wrist, in the eyes of Trump and his cabinet, man. So they're gonna come down with that wrath because they know that they have but a short time. So it's gonna be, all hell is literally on the brink of breaking loose. Seditious times like never seen before, and that's why Daniel's 12:1 is gonna come into play. It's gonna be a time like never be seen on the earth. And Jacob's trouble is not going to be no walk in the park, man. Jake is going to be catching untimely hell, 2/3, because they're going to be mainly out there when everything shuts down, all this panic buying and going looting and shooting, polluting up the damn place. It's going to be mainly Jakes out there and these Edomites, expressing their Second Amendment rights, and fighting for the lack of resources, man. Tells you in 2 Ezra 15, for great tribulation, there's going to be, for the lack of bread, there's going to be great tribulation, roughly paraphrasing. And many great miseries, 2 Ezra 8:50, many great miseries shall come upon them that dwell upon the earth, because they have walked in pride, man. So these are some serious, seditious times, and it's not going to be no jolting, as we say over here in the UK. These are serious things, serious times, man. So this is why we have to pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for you, that you're part of that hopeful elect, to keep that hedge over you in these last days when all these set perils are getting ready to be unleashed, man. So this is just a little example of that. Brother Awa, from the GMS London Camp, put this video up. So I just thought, let me do this quick response on this, man, because this is definitely the times that we're in. Jacob's trouble, seditious times, uproars of the people, anarchy and chaos in the streets, civil unrest, going to the time of the Civil War as well. This is it, man. So this is beautiful, man. Prophecy is taking place as we speak, round the clock, 24 hours round the clock, man. So this is why we have to pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Constantly, have him in our thoughts and our minds in these seditious times, man. So let me just play this video real quick again, and I'm just gonna go straight to the scriptures. When I saw this, I was just like, look at that, man, that's crazy. But as I said, Esau's got cameras all over the damn place. So these guys, they're not gonna really get away with it. Esau will just let them think they get away with it, and then he's got these drones, technology. He's got all cameras everywhere, so he's just gonna do the playback on the videos and do search out the phone maps and all of that to see where they was at, their locations through their phone maps, and then he's gonna one by one go and knock down these guys' doors, and they're gonna get arrested, man. So all this is really short lived, man, because this kingdom's done anyway. This kingdom's through. The money in the system is not really going to mean anything in a couple of months anyway, because everything's gone digital. So the fact that people are still trying to go out there and steal is not going to be so easy to do now in the next coming months, because everything's going digital. There's not going to be no such thing as cash payments. It's going to be a cashless society, and it's going to be a totalitarian dystopian setup where everything's going to be governed and watched and monitored through your C-hip, man, the RFID C-hip, man, your digital ID. So this is all leading to that, man. It's all that chaos scenarios. That's all that this is leading to. But anyway, let me go to the scriptures. It's like here. It's Matthew 24 and 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound. Man, what's iniquity mean? Wickedness. And that's wicked what those guys were doing, whether they're Jakes or they're other nations. I think they were Jakes personally, but never know. But even if they look like the other nations, but iniquity is just straight up wickedness, and that's what's taking place. The vibration on the earth is just heightened in the settings of uproars and straight up wickedness and straight up selfishness in these last days, man. Everyone's going to be for self, basically, fighting for self, and their family, so to speak. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, it's going to wax cold, man. So people are going to be doing some heartless things, man. Carelessness and just like unlawful and lawlessness, basically, in society. And the old and young, they're going to get caught up in this, So when there's all panic buying and people, and that time of sedition and people are fighting for lack of bread, people are going to turn on each other like savages, man. You're going to see people's true colours when all hell's breaking loose in society. There's not going to be no bygones be bygones in that day. They even show you that in that movie that came out late last year, Civil War, with Christian Stewart. If that's her name, if I'm not mistaken, that's her name. And the reporter that was in that movie, Christian Stewart, and they show you, man, what's his name? Bacon. That guy, Bacon. I remember his last name is Bacon. I can't remember his first name right now, but famous actor in America, Bacon. And he was basically coming against, the Jake that was his so-called neighbor. They knew each other for years, but when all hell broke loose and there's a blackout in society and so on and so forth, and people was all confused and bemused, didn't know what to do. He went for help to his next door neighbor, and his neighbor pulled out a damn double barrel shotty on him, man. Pulled out a double barrel shotgun, looking to blow his head off, man. So that's how it's gonna be, man. The love of many is gonna definitely wax colder and colder in these last days, man. It's beautiful because it's the necessary evil that we need to see before the end of this wicked ass society. Perilous times, like I told you in the top of this chapter here, or the next chapter, the 15th verse. Perilous times is on the table, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shai, because he's the only one that's going to be able to deliver us in these perilous times, man. Times of peril or pandemonium, as I go into that word pandemonium is a Greek word. The word pan means all, and demonium means demons. So the word pandemonium literally means all demons are going to be activated in these last days, and that's what these devils want: pandemonium, chaos in the streets, man. All that have chaos, so they can bring forth that order, the new world order. This is Hosea 4:1. This is the Most High's controversy with Israel. You Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, not them gutter rats over there playing a fraud, suffer from identity theft, claiming to be the chosen of the Lord. This is talking specifically about the tribes. It says, hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel, for the Lord having a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. It says, because there is no truth, no mercy, no knowledge of the Most High in the land. Yeah, Jacob's become, turned into brute beasts, man. They're turned wild, and they're just, wild animals in a net that need to be put down, man. 2/3, they're going to be out there doing the most in these last days, man. Just moving heartless and lawless at a different type of level. And that's why Esau's going to come down and mow a lot of these Jakes down, with the sword, because that's his blessing. The modern day sword is the gun. So by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. Yeah, so Jake's just turning so evil and wicked in this society, especially Babylon the Great, that there's no remedy for them, man. This is why the Lord said the whole head is sick. They're revolted and gone. And that's regarding the 2/3. Only the elect, are going to be delivered in these last days. The 2/3, they're going to be out there fighting in the streets, going crazy, doing the most, murdering, robbing and all of that, just doing the most out here for survival purposes. And ultimately they're going to take that C-hip technology, and then the Lord's going to destroy them by way of nuclear fire, because they receive not the love of this truth that they might be saved. So the Lord's really really being very choosy in these last days. I'm trying to think of a better word, man, but he's only dealing with the remnant, the elect, man. The rest of the 2/3, they're going to be out here. We're going to see them in the kingdom, basically, put it that way. And even in Ezekiel, the 22nd chapter, if I'm not mistaken, tells you about how wicked Jacob's become. They become like the dross, and the Lord said he's going to melt them, man. They said they become the dross. There was that gold and silver, precious stones, so on and so forth. But now they become the dross. They become so wicked, they become so unsavory, so to speak, that the Lord's going to have to melt their asses, and he's going to melt them through that nuclear fire, man. The Lord said he's going to melt them, because all the iniquity that they are abounding in. So, verse 3, it said, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of the heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea shall be taken away. So these are perilous times, man, for the 2/3, man. The Lord's not gonna have no mercy. He's not gonna hear their cries in these last days, and we're not to lift up any cries or prayers for them anyway, because the Lord said he's not gonna hear their cries, prayers and cries of the 2/3. He said, don't worry about how the ungodly are punished, as it tells you in 2nd Ezra, man. Don't worry about how the ungodly are punished, but only how the righteous are going to be saved. So let me read this lot. I've got 2 more precepts, and I'll close out. This is Proverbs 1. The enticement of sinners. My son, hear the instruction of the father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, which a lot of Jakes are doing. They're just out here just being lawless as fuck. Don't even regard their parents. There's no order in the household. The majority of them don't even have the father in the household. They live in a single parent home, the majority of the time ruled by their mother, which is full of emotions. So they're an emotional wreck too. That's why they're out there in the streets being a bunch of gremlins, man. A bunch of goblins doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing. It says, for they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck, which Jake is lacking right now in the family household. It says, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Yeah, a gang of niggas come up to you and say, yeah, let's go hit this spot, go hit that spot, let's go rob this or rob that. Consent not. Say no, man. Fuck that, man. Be like Ricky, man. Jump out the whip, man. No, not Trey, not Ricky, Trey. Be like Trey and Boys in the Hood, man. Jump out of the whip, man. So you say you're not with it, man. Just get out of the whip and walk your ass back home, man. Don't follow a multitude to do iniquity, especially in these last days when everyone's just going to be moving so carnal. You don't want to be caught up in that, because that's when Esau's going to come down, and he's not going to, as it says in Romans 13, he beareth not the sword in vain. If he catches you doing some form of wickedness, stealing, and all of that, you best believe he's going to come for your head, and the Lord's going to be with it, man, because he's a executioner of the Lord on the left hand side, basically, upon the wicked. That includes 2/3 of our people. That's why Jacob's trouble is going to be so much hell for Jake, especially you women, man. You proud ass heifers out there, you black women, you're going to be catching it the most out here, man, because you're the weaker vessel, and you're not built for war. So if they say, come with us, let us lay and for wait. So like I read that again. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Yeah, let's stay on the corner and plot against these people out here, whether they be Jakes or not, and rob them and steal and all of this. Take their life if they have to, set them up. That's how it's going to be in these last days. It's going to be very heartless, man, lawless, as I keep saying. So that's what Jake's going to be plotting with their little gangs and all of that. They're going to be plotting on the innocent, man, the so-called civilians, so to speak, that are not about that life, just average people just trying to go about their business, so to speak, the average day. It says, let us swallow them up alive as the grave. It says, and whole as those that go down into the pit. It says, we shall find all precious substance, we shall fill our houses with spoil. That's what these niggas was doing in that video. They think they're going to fill their house with spoil by stealing a damn cash machine, thinking they're going to get away. But what are they going to do when Esau makes everything go cashless, man, and there's no more FRN notes, no more paper note system, everything's going to go digital? How are you going to steal money? You niggas are going to be out there with your asses, between your cheekbones and all that, your ass between your cheekbones, your head between your ass crack, wondering what the fuck to do. You're going to be confused, man, and the Lord's going to leave you out there to be destroyed. Because it's going to get Esau's going to come down upon the tribes, man, like never before. He's going to show you how much he hates you tribes, man. Time of Jacob's trouble. And it's already started. It's only going to increase. It says, we shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. It says, cast in thy lot among us, let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the way of with them, refrain thy foot from their path. Yeah, follow not a multitude to do evil, man. And as I said, these days are going to be very carnal, and that's what Jake's going to be in these last days. But they're gonna lose, because carnal mind is enmity with Yahweh Shem Shai, man. And that's why we're not even supposed to get involved. We're not supposed to be around these Jakes, especially in these seditious times. We're supposed to just sit back and watch the handiwork of the Lord. And if brothers get arrested in certain situations, whatever it is, let's maintain the faith and pray that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua deliver us, man. But we're not to be out there on some carnal, get back type of revenge type shit, because that's not our lot, man. The prophets, the men of the Lord's lot is to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, and then let the Lord do the rest, man. But the Lord said that, be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So that's what brothers are going to be. Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability at our times. So we're going to have our time anyway, because the Lord says he's going to turn these fishes into hunters and all that. But for the meantime, in between time, let this place fall by the wayside, man. Let these niggas do what they're doing, and let Esau does what he does, so the Lord can step in and intervene for the elect. It says, if for their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. See, so this is what this is what's going to be happening in these last days. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, and evils are definitely going to multiply, man. So yeah, let me just read 2nd Ezra, and I'm going to close out. Let me make this too long. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. And it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And funny enough, them guys, whoever it was, the group that went and stole that cash machine from a supermarket, soon that supermarket's going to have no food within it anyway. So the shelves are going to be empty very soon. These Sainsbury's and all these different supermarket stores that we have over here in the UK, the prominent ones and all that, the Sainsbury's, the Tesco's, and so on and so forth. Them shelves are going to be bare very soon, because famine is definitely going to take hold of these societies, man, over here in the West. And it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Yes, so all these men are going to be bowing down. They're going to be terrified, man. It's going to be a time of terror, fear, great dread, and straight judgments for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. So even the toughest so-called Jake out there, the gremlin niggas, they're going to be out there shitting themselves basically when the Lord really unleashes hell on them. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Yes, a great famine is coming into the land, great dearth upon the earth, especially in Babylon the Great, aka America. And friends are definitely going to turn against each other. Friends are going to fight one against another like enemies. Like I gave the analogy of that Jake. I think his name's Marshall Ali, if I'm not mistaken. Marshall Ali, the Jake that played in it with Julia Roberts, and then you had that's a different film. Salakia, I'm mixing up two films. The one with Christian Stewart was Civil War. The other one was the Obama movie that they produced and directed. They Leave the World Behind with Julia Roberts and Marshall Ali. And the guy the Edomite, Kevin Bacon, was Marshall Ali's neighbor, and he basically went up to him to try and get some help, and he pulled out a double-barrel shotgun on him. So lucky if I misconveyed that information. I was mixing up two different movies, but those are the times we're living in: civil war, civil unrest, friends turning against one another, fighting against one another like enemies, sedition, perilous times, and only the elect are going to be delivered, man. Like it says here in verse 25. It says, whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. The end of whose world? Esau's world. So the word in the Greek there for world will be aeon, which means an uninterrupted rule. And Esau's at the end of his rule. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning, if that followeth, when you read up this same chapter. So this is the end of Esau's world. So it's going to be a violent end, like it tells you in Revelations 18 and 21. Thus with violence, so that great city be thrown down, Yeah, man. So anyway, with that, I want to close out. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rechakodash, Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.